We welcome you to our Sri Lankan's YouTube channel with our new program, YouthLankaNZ. As you may already know, the Sri Lankan's YouTube channel runs parallel to the Sri Lankan's newspaper, which is the only Sri Lankan community newspaper distributed throughout the major cities of New Zealand. And in our new program, YouthLankaNZ, we will be exploring about the lives and experiences of the youths of Sri Lankan origin who have been living in New Zealand. On our first episode, we'll be conversing with two brothers, the older Senuka Sudusinghe and the younger Yenuka Sudusinghe. And to the Wellington Sri Lankan community, they are well known as gifted Kandyan dancers and traditional drummers, among many other talents. So we'll find out more about them today. So first of all, Senuka and Yenuka, we'd like to welcome you to our YouTube channel. Hi, boy. So first I'll start with Senuka. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself, how your life started in New Zealand and what you're doing right now?
Yeah, sure thing. So for myself, I moved here with my family. So I was 10 when I initially moved here, and now we've lived here for the last 13 years. Starting off from primary school in grade 6 and having only 6 months there, and then continuing on to the rest of my schooling. I found a passion in the performing arts alongside my Sri Lankan performing arts as well. And I went on to study at Victoria University of Wellington with a conjoined degree with a major in management and also theatre, and then finishing with a marketing minor. So it was a BCom and a BA, Bachelor of Commerce and a Bachelor of Arts. So through that, I also was working for Dilma in the form of the Tea Lounge, which is based in Wellington, and that grew a passion for Sri Lanka, also my culture, and then also tea. So that has now led me to work for Dilma New Zealand. I work there as the brand activation and sales rep for the country. So it's been a very fun process. So it's been only the last 5 weeks so far, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it, promoting tea, Sri Lanka, across the country, which I would say brings two of my close passions, which is Sri Lanka and then tea together. So I'm enjoying that line of work a lot. Yeah.
And what about you, Yenuka?
So when I arrived here in New Zealand in 2012, I was 4 years old, and I just did my schooling, and I went through primary and intermediate, and now I'm currently going into my last year of college, year 13 at Newlands College, and I've enjoyed it really a lot, and it's been like a cultural change. But back in Sri Lanka, I didn't really get to witness the college experience, because I only went to kindergarten. I didn't get to go to primary or anything. So transitioning to English, it was quite easy for me, as I only knew a little bit of Sinhala and a little bit of English. So yeah, but I learned a lot of new things here, as in I started doing athletics, and I got involved with the sports, and as well as the performing arts. So for my sports, I did athletics, and now I'm currently doing basketball and cricket. And for the arts, I'm playing the guitar, the drums, the piano, and I'm participating in school musicals and multiple different extracurricular activities, as in musical groups all around the school and outside of the school as well. So yeah.
What are they?
Oh, and then I'm hoping to do sports science outside of school, so going to Massey University and studying sports science.
Yeah, we'll get into more details about your other all your interest later. So now, Senuka said that you moved here at the age of 10. So how was this new transition? Was it challenging for you to adapt to the new lifestyle?
I would say when you take the two countries, especially Sri Lanka, and how it's built up in the schooling system, and then New Zealand, they're quite different. Whereas in Sri Lanka, we're brought up to learn what's there and to like progress as we go. While in New Zealand, they take a little bit more of a laid back approach of letting you slowly enhance your curiosity to slowly find the different elements that you're interested in. So obviously, culturally, there was a big shock for myself, and I often came home to Amma and Tata with a lot of questions, saying why, how, and
Why is it different?
exactly. So I was at an age, because I had gone to Royal College till year 5, I had a little bit more of an understanding of what life was like compared to Mali, who he was only 4. So because of that, I was quite curious. I was asking a lot of questions, and I do have to thank my parents being there and supporting me, and also having something to ground myself and my culture. Because New Zealand's really good at creating a space where all your cultures are celebrated. So I was really lucky to have the Sri Lankan Dance Academy, and then my influence in performing arts through my tata being a professional dancer and drummer. I had something to hold myself and build a foundation for myself. So that was an exciting prospect that I was able to continue to do what I love here. So that slowly took away some of that cultural shock. It helped me build into myself, find my identity through continuing to do things that I was very comfortable with, which was the folk songs, the drumming, the dancing. So through that of the Sri Lankan Dance Academy that Diane Auntie started, now coming up on 50 years as well, it was a great way for me to stay connected to kids who are in a similar boat, or who are exploring the similar, what is my identity, how do I fit in, what's my culture, what's my heritage, and having that strong backing was something I'll always be grateful for. And having that openness from Amma and Tata, that if I questioned something, they would just shoot that down. It was always become a discussion. And I know even for Mali, he was always curious, and he would come up with different questions, the same as I would, but from a different perspective as well. So that way it was really good for us to stay connected and to find out more. So always grateful that I had that opportunity, but definitely a cultural shock, to say the least. Yeah.
So Yenuka, you moved here at 4, right? When you were 4. So how was the transition for you? Was it much smoother, or how was it?
I feel like it was much more smooth and easier compared to mine. Because I didn't know much, and I wasn't really what's the word, indulged in the Sri Lankan culture yet. I was just still growing up, because I was 4, and I think I was 3 or 4, just turned 4. And then, it was just kind of...
So it was a lesser cultural shock for you?
Yeah, because in kindergarten they would it was very easy going, and they would be very easy with you, and they would teach you a lot of things, and it wouldn't be as harsh or straightforward as Sri Lanka. So it was much more smooth, as I was younger as well, so it was much more smoother for me to transition.
Yeah, so you guys are quite fluent in Sinhala language as well. I've spoken with you in Sinhala before the interview a few times. And How did you manage to learn and speak Sinhala in an environment surrounded by English speakers? How did you manage it? So, Senuka, you can go first.
There's one simple answer which goes between the both of us. In the house, in the car, in anywhere where my parents are present, we weren't allowed to speak in English.
Oh,
That was when it was initially put onto us. We're like, what? But why? And that was mostly through my Tata's initiative. The Amma and Tata got together and they said, at home you have to speak in Sinhala. And then they said, if you do need to express a matter in English, say with Amma you converse in English, but with Tata you only speak in Sinhala. Of course, there was times that that's challenging because the words will just come out quite easily in English, but even for myself, I would have to think sometimes. But even though initially not very happy with that idea, over time I've seen how that's allowed me to grow. A lot of the times, things of perspective, having that second language, it was a very keen skill that I didn't expect. You take that for granted just because you speak two languages. And that happens with, I used to be fluent in Tamil because when you were taking Shishate in year 5, you had to write and read in Tamil. I can't, have a conversation in Tamil anymore because I just didn't use it. Because it's a muscle memory of you have to use it to be able to stay fluent. So I have to thank my parents in that case for it was a simple answer of and then you have to take a second and go, okay, how can we say this in Sinhalese? And that was a good way of continuing to read, write through my parents' influence. And then we were very lucky to have in Wellington the Hampasala and Sinhala School as well. So run through RTC Devi and Uncle Lalit, what they started initially as this small group, that was also very, very good for us to stay connected. So we've both been through Hampasala, and then that helped us progress as well. And then it continued on to our dancing as well. In our dancing classes, everything would be done in Sinhala with a mix of English, which allowed us to stay more connected and actually build that language up. But it was easier for me than it was for Malli because I could still speak and I was fluent in it. But yeah, so I would say my parents are the top 2 people I need to thank.
So hopefully you will be fluent in Tamil also in the future.
Who knows? Who knows? My goal for 2020 is 5, yeah.
And Yenuka, is it the same story for you? Is it any different?
Yeah, it's basically the same story as because even though I spoke English at school, it would mainly be Sinhala. And then as Aya said, now he realizes how important it is, because I've seen no disrespect to everyone, other people, but there's lots of people that were that came from Sri Lanka, but now they're unable to speak Sinhala due to the no use of using Sinhala. And with Amma and Tata trying to force it, not really force it, but basically force it, but in a good way, trying to help me to use it more, has helped me to stay closer and with my culture, I'd say. So if I see an uncle in the community, I would be able to have a conversation in Sinhala with them.
But it also adds on to what he said of the 2 things of, if your name is Sudusinghe, how can you not explain what that means and know that what it means in Sinhala is something Tata has always said. But adding on to that, we can still go on a phone call with Archie and Sia and have hear about their day and not have any barriers, which was an important part because I know for both of us we miss our Archies and Sias. So they can call us at any time on WhatsApp, and then we can have a lovely long conversation about what they've done in their day and what we are doing, and there's no barrier there. So you still feel that connection. So technology is pretty great that we have that facility. But so that's been those are the little rewards you get. Yeah, so that's been very good.
As I mentioned earlier, to the Wellington Sri Lankan community, you are well known as talented Kantian dancers and traditional drummers. Why did you decide to follow this path? We can start with Senuka again.
Okay, simple answer. My tata. So just expanding on that, seeing him perform and be recognized, I remember those, seeing him on stage, and something I think for about 6 years I used to say was, one day I'm going to dance this with my tata on stage. That was a hardest thing. I was very adamant of it. And anyone who asked, oh yeah, that's my tata, I'm going to dance with him, this on stage with him. And I was very lucky to be immersed in it. Having people who are at the height of the performing arts in Sri Lanka, having them it was a normal part of my life. So because of that stayed with me. And then like I was saying to you earlier, it was a way for me to stay connected here. So I was able to progress because New Zealand allowed me to be curious about my culture and gave a place for it. And the more you were involved in it, the easier it became. I remember still, for talent shows, I'll wear the drums, sing a folk song, and play the drums for the talent show. And I saw that there were more and more people who were excited about it, who were coming out and saying, hey, that's really cool, could you tell me more? Which made me want to learn more as well. And at the back of my mind, it stayed. Performing with Tata on stage was a big part of it. And then through the Sri Lankan Dance Academy, I was able to continue, which was, I would say, something I'm always grateful for. So it was having that family backing and the traditions that stayed in our family, I slowly picked up, and from someone who I considered my hero, and I still do. So seeing him do all of those things wanted me to progress myself to learn. So that's been a really, really fun journey for myself.
And Yenuka, you have something to add?
Yeah, just like I said, Tata, because Tata, he's a pretty good performer, I would say. Yeah, one of the top. Yeah, it was very nice to see him perform. I don't really remember watching his performances back in Sri Lanka, but still to this day he still has that style and that that form and technique and everything, and it's nice to watch. And I was just since I came here, because I don't think I really did dancing as much back in Sri Lanka because I was still young, but once I came here and turned 4 and 5, I started doing dancing, and since then I've enjoyed it, and I've just been around that. So to not finish off with the graduation, and because then Aya would have this and Tat would have this, and if I didn't have it, then it would make me the odd one out, and I don't want to have that. So I went ahead with the graduation, and yeah, especially the drums. I'm quite invested in music, and I love the sound of the drums, like because there's a variety of drums, and I've just loved playing the drums and just hearing the sound. It's been great journey.
Yeah. So you also wanted to be a part of the team, obviously.
Yeah.
You don't want to be left out. It's okay.
So you guys recently acquired the best status in Kenyan dancing, and my understanding is that it's kind of like a passage to be considered as a fully fledged Kenyan dancer. So what are your feelings about this experience?
Yeah, so, with 10, it was not just like, a whim decision. They always say the teacher knows when you're ready. So it was a journey of, more than 10 years of building those foundational blocks and just slowly learning more and more as well. Because it's not just that you have to complete these dances and you can become a Kenyan dancer. It's knowing the why in the tradition, the heritage, the culture, and it's a great pride and an honor that being in New Zealand, we were able to complete that. So having 6 other students join us in the Pahipat, and then us, for me and him, it makes it a little bit more special when it's my brother that I'm dancing alongside. And there were things that he challenged me in, and I challenged him in. So that was like the journey that built up was quite a special one because of it. And then we tried to challenge Adata. That doesn't happen. But having someone to something to look forward to, but that just being in the back of your mind, right? So it was slowly building, learning more and more and more. Why do you, a simple question of why do you worship the drum before you start playing? There's simple things like that kind of you don't think about that, but once you learn about those, that journey slowly comes to the best graduation. But it's not the end, which is something I really love. So there's still so much more that the two of us can learn and improve and develop to progress to, say, someone of like my father's caliber. So that's something that I look forward to, that it's something that builds up. So it's definitely not the end. And then having all those foundational backings of the journey build up has been a very, very cool experience. Yeah.
It's just because it's been a very long journey, 10 years of practice. It's similar to like schooling. Like you have your primary, intermediate, and college. And if you just transition to uni without any finish, this is the process of completion, saying that you have now finished your schooling and now it's time for you to because as I said, you can learn more, and then you can use that as going to university or going to research more, but this is your ending of college and learning all those basics and getting to know the culture behind everything. Yeah.
It's a great analogy you brought up. That's actually a very nice analogy of, you finish college, but you get your
platinum.
You get your graduation, you have your graduation, you go get that study, your bachelor's, and there's so much more you can do. You can transition to a master's and then go more into the research and do a doctorate. Like that, there's still room for us to grow, which is really exciting, and I think New Zealand allows us to do that. In a way it's sad to say, but I don't think Sri Lanka would have. That with our luck, that having our father very connected in Sri Lanka, in that traditional performance, we who's to say we would have been able to, or we don't know, but seeing our culture shine elsewhere and seeing it I can proudly say that for almost like all of our students at the Sri Lankan Dance Academy, like we're all proud to go there and perform and show off our culture. So it definitely becomes something we can take pride in our culture, which is really special.
Yeah, so at the beginning of the interview, you kind of listed down a bunch of other talents you guys have. So to elaborate a little bit further on that, so what other areas are you guys interested in other than the traditional dancing and drumming? Let's start with Senuka again.
Yeah, so for myself, I was very keen on musical theatre, and also continuing my Trinity College exams, even which I started in Sri Lanka but continued on over here. And then once you get to grade 8, you have the option of doing a teaching diploma or a performing diploma. I wanted to focus on the teaching side, the teaching aspect. So I completed a ATCL, which is one of their levels of being a teacher, having that teaching diploma for speech and drama. And I focused mostly towards people who are neurodivergent, who are on that, say for an example, the autism spectrum, and working with them through the likes of speech, performance, creativity, and drama to enhance how and make their perspective of the world a little easier for them to work with. So like those sort of things have been really rewarding to continue. But then for myself, I perform as well, mostly on stage. So different musicals with the likes of, say, Les Miserables, which has been quite exciting. And then later on, in the last couple of years, I focused towards lighting, design, and then having that backing as well. So it's always handy to have a expert in the house that you can come to with all your questions, especially when I was studying as well. We would sometimes have a lighting course. And so working with those, narratives there were quite exciting. Then I also played the drums, and I did drum kit. So with the drum kit, progressed into the Trinity exams as well, which is something I want to continue to do as well, like grow in that capacity as well. And then a lot of different instruments throughout the years, which have had my interest, which goes quite nicely with the Sri Lankan Performing Arts. So it built up quite nicely that we were quite lucky to come from a house where no wasn't thrown around. I want to try this. Okay, let's give it a try. But something that though is you have to do it right. We will support you if you do it right. So going for those lessons for different instruments and things like that. So between us, I think we have a band, so that's always fun.
You guys have a band?
No, that was a joke. We could. Who knows?
You should be.
2026. Look forward to it.
And Yenuka, what about your interests?
I'm quite interested in the arts as well, mainly on the music side. I've done drama as well up to grade 7. And what's it called? I've been involved in school productions. We did Shrek and we also did High School Musical, and but on the music side, I play the guitar, the piano, and the drums. I've done the multiple exams for the piano, and I'm currently doing grade 5. I'm about to do grade 5 2 days from now.
Woo.
And drums, I'm in the jazz band at school, and I have my own musical band at school, which I play the drums in. And guitar, I do the ukulele orchestra as well as the guitar ensemble. And doing all these things led me to gaining the Musician of the Year award, which I was very pleased
Which
with.
I was very lucky that, it's a proud brotherly moment of, in my last year at school, I got the Senior Musician of the Year. And now, a couple of years later, the Sudusinghe name appears again, but he got it in year 12, which is...
So is the school orchestra you were mentioning about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
School orchestra, and then also...
Ukulele. Yeah, part of the school activities.
Yeah, so you have to showcase yourself in school activities to be able to gain the of the Senior Musician of the Year.
Alright.
And very lucky to have his name right next to a couple of years down, but then the Sudusinghe name appear again on that shield. So yeah. Always very nice.
And I'm also quite interested in the sports side. Yeah, I did athletics for since I was 7 until I was 14, junior athletics, and now I'm just focused on basketball and cricket, and I'm hoping to do one more year of athletics next year. Yeah, so these 3 sports, I was quite invested in the sports side, as I'm trying to do sports science, that type of field of work when I'm out of school.
Yeah. Okay, so I would say it's not just luck, I would say it's talent. so yeah, speaking of which, you guys seem to have a lot of talents you have both talents in both the Sri Lankan traditional arts and the Western entertainment. Do you guys have any plan to maybe blend these art forms and maybe come up with your own genres? I myself is a huge fan of the fusion genre, so I would actually love to see you guys one day perform some fusion music like that. So let's start with Yenuka. Do you have any plans like that?
Well, in the past we have done so there were when we did the graduation, there were some drummers, some profound drummers came from Sri Lanka, and we had a little, because they stayed at our place. Well, it wasn't an official band, but we had a band, and we would mix the gatabere, the drums, the piano, and then we would get the thumb metamo, and we would do a little fusion. And there have been different times where we have done fusion drumming in our past concerts, performances. We've done fusion drumming with,
I would say that makes it a point in those creations to get us involved, the whole group involved, of it not only being just showcasing our culture, we've done Maori traditional arts, having the bass involved, double bass, that, having all those instruments involved as well. So I would say it's on the track for us.
Yeah.
Having done it and being surrounded by it and being very lucky in both capacities, the Sri Lankan performing arts and the Western instruments, seeing people at the top of their field. So that, I think, who knows? Like we said, we could start a band. We could start a band.
As we have our 50th coming up, and we're maybe something then there would be.
Yeah. Something to look forward to.
Yeah, hopefully you would look forward to that. That'll be that would showcase our culture. It will be much, easier for us to showcase our culture to the world if we get into some genres like that. So, Senuka, you, as you mentioned, you are employed in the field of marketing, and all these cultural and art influences. Has it helped you in your career and your day-to-day life?
Most definitely, especially having a different perspective. Like more and more, that's becoming an important thing. That like expanding, like a simple idea has been. It's been really rewarding that I'm able to take experiences I've had in my life through the arts into work, which has been really, really exciting. So it's one of those things where you build. It's always building, and I'm able to. Sorry, I'm able to use a lot of those influences I've had and bring new, fresh ideas. I'm not scared to just keep my idea to myself. That theater background really helps, that I'm able to present it and always welcome like whatever like differences that are there in the workplace as well. Everyone comes from different backgrounds, but having that strength in my background has been really like, so far it's been such a rewarding experience being able to do that.
Yeah, so Yenuka, so it seems that you are the most sporty guy here. So even today you played some cricket, right? Yeah. So has these experiences helped you in your sports ambitions and your daily life?
Yes, I would say so. Like performing, and it's just giving me that confidence. Like I wouldn't have stage fright, and that's given like relating to my daily life. I would be more confident while talking to the other people, like strangers and everyone. It doesn't matter who it is, but I would still be confident and be like, I would be able to have a conversation. I wouldn't have that be shy or nervous when like meeting someone new. And I would say that for my arts, and a big part of gaining Musician of the Year, it was because of having that musical background from dancing and drumming, the traditional Kandyan and drumming. It helped me to already be in that type of field and be at ease. It would be like easy for me to just perform, as I would be quite seasoned in this field.
Now it makes you quite versatile, which is like really, really important, not just in schooling and work, but in daily life, having that versatility. So like being able to go, oh yeah, we're playing the ukulele now. It was really like, it was a moment I was really proud of at a concert this year when I went in to see you would perform in the first one, perform in the second item, the third item, the fourth one. You just see my brother, he was the one that would just go back on stage, which was the same for me. Well, seeing him do it at such a high level, like it always makes you proud, seeing your younger brother like expand in that way. And I think we both thank that to like our background and having that clear focus there. So,
especially with graduation training, especially Thatha's graduation training, because he's a bit of a fit man as well. And being his son, he was quite, let's say, I'm not sure the word to say. Okay, but he was very strict.
Particular.
Yeah, particular. That's the word. With his type of dancing, and it would be, if you get it wrong, do it again. Get it wrong again, do it again. And he would just condition us, and that conditioning started to, I felt like that helped me in my sports side as well, and like increased my fitness, and that helped me to be more fit for my other sports and just my overall health, I would say. That played a big part.
So it's like he expected the perfect delivery from you guys. Is that
precise with his things? As I said, he likes to do everything the right way. He always says there's a way, and there's a way to do it right. And he's pretty big on that. So yeah.
So, what are your future plans? Are you planning to continue with your father's legacy, or do you have plans of your own, maybe paths of your own you would like to follow? So let's start with Yenuka about that.
Well, I'm still keen to perform and like do the Sri Lankan dancing. I wouldn't say it's taking over the SLDA and like being head in charge of like dancing and making own performances and like concerts. Probably not that, but I would like to come in and teach and maybe like help out the younger students and like still perform if there's like there's a concert or like a performance coming up. I would love to like come in and help, but as my tata's in the personal training side and he's on the side of the gym, that's his occupation, and that side I'm quite into that, and I'm trying to go into that side, like the sports science side, and go study and work as a PT for now, and go study sports science at Massey University. So I would say I'm quite into my tata's side, doing both.
So continuing the legacy, but in
Yeah.
a different way.
In a different way.
But still
Yeah.
continuing.
Yeah. And Senuka, what about you?
So I think the same goes of we're very fortunate to be able to practice our performing arts, like in our culture, So I would say it's along the lines of what my brother said, of we're able to build and continue to do that. And then for myself, I want to build in my role as of right now, because I really enjoy promoting something that's so pure, that's something that's so purely Sri Lanka, tea. It's you'd ask anyone and they know Sri Lanka, through cricket or tea, and having that privilege to work for someone I looked up to as well, which was Mr. Merrill J. Fernando. Meeting him when he was here, and him being someone I looked up to, and especially the business as a matter of human service, which I think relates to us in the cultural side a lot. So I think I want to build that and see if there's any crossover for us as well. So not just working and then performing, but see if performing and working can coexist, and having that synergy through there should be like an exciting thing that I look forward to.
Yeah. So to end our conversation, so we'd like to hear if there's any message you would like to give to our viewers, especially the young people like you who are of Sri Lankan origin and now living in New Zealand. Let's start with Senuka. Do you have any message?
I would say the message I have is be true to your roots. Names hold power. So your last name is something you should be proud of, because that's your heritage, that's your culture, those are your roots. Your generations coming down and expanding. And you're the holder of that. Be proud of who you are. Be proud of your roots, your culture, your heritage. It's easy to lose sight of what you are doing or who you are, especially in the for your identity being so far away from home. But it's that building up from what's already there, finding something to ground yourself in, and build yourself up without forgetting where you come from would be my message.
And Yenuka, what about yours?
I would say mainly just try to stay connected to your culture. either if it's speaking Sinhala or like doing dancing or drumming, because there's many opportunities now in New Zealand to like connect with your culture, being like singing or there are multiple different events nowadays. So try and get involved and don't, like as I said, be connected with your roots. Don't, just because we're living in a different country to our motherland doesn't mean we have to act in the way of this country. We can still be who we are, and we don't have to change because of someone else. Yeah.
It was a good message, especially from Senuka. Like with having these long last names, we always kind of find it annoying when dealing with the stuff in New Zealand. But as you said, yes, we should keep them, and we should be proud of who we are. So thank you very much for your time, Senuka and Yenuka, and from the Sri Lankans team, we would like to wish you all the very best for your future. Thank you.
Cool. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.